Hello and welcome back to Car Crazy Norwegian. As you probably saw on my last video, I have purchased a new car. So, should we take a look at it? So, here it is. It's a pre-facelift MGZT. It has a 1.8 turbo, 160 horsepower, X-Power Grey, which is the most common color on these cars, I believe. 18-inch hairpin alloys, tires. Relatively good thread on them, but they are 10 years old, so they have to be replaced. And as you can see, brake discs, quite grubby. This car has been sitting since 2019. Brakes all round isn't so old on this car, but it has been sitting so long, so it has to be totally renewed. So I will give it new discs, pads, hoses, calipers, everything, just so everything is up to specifications, so the car is safe to drive with. Otherwise, yeah, there's a reason. The tow hook is attached to the car, and there's a very good reason for it, because it doesn't run. I will get back to that later. As we can see, going down, there's some bird poop down there, but if we go along the side of the car, very straight and tidy bodywork on this car. It is well used, this car. It has got a fair bit of mileage on it. It's sitting around 240,000 kilometers. I'm not sure how much that is in miles, but it's got some mileage on it. And yeah, it's got a nice tidy bodywork. It has some scuffs here and there, like there for instance, but that's where the previous owner had the car stored. Somebody pushed the car into the bumper, so yeah, got a little scuff mark there. Some tiny scuffs here. But yeah, as you can see, it's got a tall boot spoiler, which I really like. I favor that over the lip that sort of builds up the whole way here. Yeah. Gives it a much more sporty look, I think. It's sold new at Autozentrum, which is a Norwegian BMW dealership. It isn't named that anymore, but this specific car was sold through a BMW dealership when it was new, because many of these cars were sold through BMW dealerships of quite obvious reasons. But yeah, it is quite a tidy, solid looking car. If we go along the side here, I have to sneak around because there are quite a lot of cars in this storage area where I am right now. Yeah. The alloys has some scuffs. It has been curved somewhat over the years, but it's not too bad. It can be done something. I can do something with that. Here, something is. I don't know if it's just rust, but it has filled in something here. So if it's had a dent or anything, I don't know. But yeah, not too bad really. It is a 20-year-old car after all. 21-year-old, in fact, because it is registered as a 2003 model, but judged by the VIN number, which we can see here. I don't know if you can see it. 27/19/81. It's built late in 2002. And the reason it was first registered in Norway, this car, in May 2003. But the first one of these to arrive in Norway was registered in November 2002, which means it should be produced in late autumn 2002. And that specific car has the same combination, same engine. It has chassis number 27/1980, and this has 81. So rolled off production line at quite the same time. Yeah, as we can see here, headlights doesn't look too bad. Somebody has given them a once over before, probably trying the heater gun method because it seems like they have been overheated slightly there. These are halogens, not xenons. So I think I will maybe upgrade them at some point. But yeah, they don't look too bad. Maybe give them a little once over once more with some wet sanding. I've done that on, yeah, you can see my Tourer luring in the in the background there. I've done a multi-stage wet sanding on that, and my Rover 75 also. But both of those cars are facelift. I like this much more. I like this light setup where you kind of have separated lenses. It's one solid unit behind here, but the bumper is made so it looks like they are separated. It looks much better, I think. Much sportier, much more, little bit more attitude, I think. Yeah. Fog lights. We have the stainless mesh, which I like very much down here, unlike on my Tourer over there, which doesn't, where the mesh is gotten kind of rusty. So, yeah, here's the bonnet. Also in quite good condition. It's quite clearly it has had some paint work over the years, this car, but it's old, so it's not that weird really. It's got some cheap aftermarket Aeroblade wipers that needs to go in the bin because I don't like them. This didn't come with those from factory. I don't want to have them there. So when I start with this car, eventually they will go in the bin. Yeah, that's just geeky details, but that's details that I care about. So yeah, if you can see here, there's quite a lot of stuff in this car because it came with a rather big amount of spare parts and the workshop Bible and the spare oil filter. I think I get 2 oil filters with this car. So yeah, now I should go around and we can have a look inside. And here it is. It has the partially leather and microfiber or Alcantara if you want to. Gunsmoke, I believe it's called. No electric seats. It's got manual seat regulations and it is very grubby and dirty in here. So it needs a very good clean. But what I do like, this has the proper nice soft carpets, not the cheap ones that's in that car in my Rover 75. Which is 2005 models. This has the nice carpets, but I need a new one of the molding or that goes here because that's just broken off, it seems like. So missing its clutch pedal rubber. I've seen also that before because I've changed that on my Tourer, and quite handily. Camshaft locking tool. I also have one of these already, but it's always good to have 2. And being an early one, this has the gloss technical gray finishing on the dashboard. The gear knob is quite worn, and as you can see, it is quite filthy in here. It needs a very, very good clean. It is quite tidy, but it is a little bit like, it creaks and squeaks a little bit when you sit in the seat. Like, yeah, it's a used car, so it's to be expected. But unlike most of these cars, this fabric here is all in place on all 4-door cards. But this material, I think, has been replaced at one time because it doesn't have the same material as my other ZT or the 75. This is more like the headlining material. And speaking of headliner, absolutely in place. No sagging whatsoever. Just like my 2 other cars. It's quite unbelievable, really, because this likes to let go of the headliner. Yeah. You can see the bolster on the seat here is a little bit perished, so it needs some work. It's an old car, so it is to be expected, really. And in the back seat we have some spare parts. Yeah, those of you who knows these cars knows this license plate lens assembly. Yeah, it has seen better days. It's broken off tap there, so yeah, I have replaced this assembly on my Rover 75, and it was a nightmare because absolutely everything just went into pieces as soon as I started touching it. Not a very grateful job to do. Down here on the floor, if you are an MG Rover man, you have probably seen his parts before. So the previous owner let me have some old and broken gaskets with the car. Yeah, ain't that great? What a sight. And I got a new spare, or a new fuel pump assembly. That's very nice. Some old license plate, number plate lenses. A detached alarm unit, because the alarm unit went absolutely mad on this car. Can you take a guess why? Yes, it had blocked scuttle drains and water filled up and set off the alarm, and the owner couldn't make it shut up because it's apparently a battery inside of it. So he got so mad of it that he just threw it in the garage and closed the gate to his garage and just left it there until it kept silent. So it's all in order now, I'm assured. So, and we have a new ignition switch and a new bolt. I'm not sure what it is for, but I will check that out. And here, yes, cylinder head bolts. Has any of you seen those before? You probably have. And here, ooh, a brand new gasket kit with multi-layer head gasket, manifold gasket, camshaft seals, everything. And it is supplied by A2C Motor Spares in West Yorkshire. Nice. And it costs a total of £142 47 cents or something like that. It's nice to have. And yes, here we have some winter tires, because here in Norway we have 2 sets of wheels for our cars. There's a box up there with some old broken parts in, like the radiator hose T-piece that likes to break on these engines, and thermostat housing and such. Yeah, these rims are awful. Very flaky, very corroded. And these tires are one of the best studless winter tires you can get for northern conditions back in the days, but they are so old now that they are completely useless, absolutely useless. So we take a look at the engine. That works very nice. Doesn't seem to have stretched bonnet cables. Yeah, cracked lens just there. And yeah, before we take a look at the engine, I don't know if you can see it, but that shock absorber is knackered. It's leaking so badly. So all 4 shockers will be replaced on these cars. It's not the nicest engine bay I've ever seen, but at least it's an honest one. So the problem is with this car, the seller or the previous owner put this out for sale because the engine is dead. I have no idea what's actually happened to it. The previous owner doesn't know what's happened to it. I've got a theory, based on how he explained the situation, because just recently, before I decided to go and have a look at this, after the accident happened, should I say, he was planning to put this car up for sale as a running repairable object, as we call it here. He fired it up, it started immediately, it was sitting and running for about 30 seconds, and then it stopped with quite a dung type of sound you can hear under the bonnet when it was running, and the car was dead and it wouldn't restart. And he just gave up on it, because this car has given him quite a lot of hassle over the years. This car has been in the same family since 2008, and they have done quite a lot of maintenance on it. But if you know these cars, these aren't Toyota Yaris's. It's just cut to the crap. It's best to be honest. They do need a lot of attention, these cars. If they are maintained, if you do follow up on the maintenance of everything, they can be really, really good. But these aren't cars that you skip maintenance on and hope that it's just going to be grateful. These won't have it. So here we can see it doesn't have the aluminium T-piece here, because these likes to crack. So I will replace that with an aluminium one. Hoses looks to be in one piece. I will get into this engine later. I will get you with me on that to see what's actually happened, if it has hydrolocked. I do suspect it's hydrolocked. If not, the timing belt has gone off. But as the previous owner told me, in 2019, like just a few months before he put this car off the road, he replaced the head gasket and timing belt, water pump, everything. Everything is done. But for some reason, just recently, the engine locked up. So I haven't gotten into it and looked what can be the reason for it. But I do expect, as the previous owner mentioned, it might be a dropped cylinder liner, that one of the cylinder liner has filled up with coolant and it has hydrolocked, quite simply. I don't know, but if we take a look down here, bone dry. It's absolutely bone dry down in there, nothing. And if I squeeze the hoses, I don't hear the sound of any kind of water moving, just air. So God knows what kind of condition this engine is in. To be fair, I'm not going to reuse this engine, because this engine or this car has been through quite a lot engine-wise. So I think it's fair to say that this engine is done, it's junk. So we'll order like an MG6 1.8 turbo, the N series, or the SEIC 1.8 turbo that has all kind of the upgrades, stronger engine block, everything. I will put one of those engines in this car, because I don't want to faff about with this engine. I think it's had enough. So I want this car to be reliable as possible, at least. I don't expect miracles, but yeah, I have been through restoration of 2 of these cars now. Technical restorations, not like bodywork restorations, but technical restoration. And I feel I have to get the hang of these cars quite good now, so I'm not afraid to get on another one. So yeah, I think we will call that enough for today. Thank you for watching. I will get back to you when I will take a closer look at the engine. I'm exhausted now. We've been working for hours. I just wanted to show you this car really quickly. So we'll take a look at the engine later, get the spark plugs out and try to turn it around, see what is going to happen. And yeah, I see you in another video. Goodbye.